All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy, the That's Legend Leon Rogers. You are now in tune with Sports Unplugged. My man Big Mad across from me, he pushes the button, makes all the magic happen. The good Dr. Nate Boning in the building. He'll be giving you scores and your updates from over the weekend. We got a lot to talk about today. NFL, some major games, some statements were made. Also, college football, one of the most BS plays in the history of college football, I feel, took place because the school is a certain school and people just want them to stay unbeaten. That's how I feel.
Right.
And what school should be mad in the BCS rankings that they got jumped? I think Oregon's a little ticked off right now.
Nah, they should be all right.
They should be all right, but I'm saying it's a little disrespectful.
It's a little disrespectful, but they'll be all right. They'll be all right. We'll talk about that in a second.
We'll talk about that also. And what else we got on the slate, Big Mac?
5 things you've learned.
5 things I've learned over the weekend, and that could be about anything.
Oh, yeah, about anything over the past week.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
Since last week.
Yeah, you're going to love that. Stay tuned for that. And you know what? Before I even get deep into it, shout out to the good doctor, Nate Boning, for giving me something to play with on my iPhone.
Okay, thank you.
My God. I'm not going to tell y'all. I just want you to find out on your own. But this has got to be.
I'm just glad you cleaned all that up.
The greatest app ever. Yeah, that was a no homo moment.
I
want
to thank the doctor.
Good Dr. Boning for giving me something to play with. Yeah. That's right.
All right.
All right, let's get right into it, man. NFL this weekend?
Man, let's just get into the game last night.
Aaron Rodgers silenced all of his critics. Everybody that was talking about Green Bay, and I think somebody on this show kind of said that Green Bay looked like they were in disarray. They were a little out of order. Would you know who that was, man?
Yeah, I said it.
Okay.
Continue. Don't worry about it. I'm all right.
Aaron Rodgers showed his ass last night.
Okay, yeah, he
bottom
did.
Bottom line, against what supposedly might be possibly one of the more complete teams in the NFL. Dissected them. If you had them in the fantasy league, you got numbers. If you had him and Jordy Nelson, you was balling out of control.
Yeah, I learned that too.
And James Jones got a little love too.
Yep.
And here's the thing. He's starting to do it now without the main go-to guys. Jennings is not Jennings. It's guys like Jordy, James Jones. Cobb has been very integral in that offense, and no running game. Is he about to get on the run again? Is Aaron about to get on the run?
Well, I mean, last year when they did all this
impossible stuff that they did,
they didn't have a running game last year.
Yeah,
they didn't have it, and Jordy Nelson was huge last year for them. And James Jones. The thing about James Jones, everyone's been waiting for him
to break out,
and now I guess he's on a roll now with 3 games in a row with 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Like you said, Jordy Nelson's been good. I can say this, Greg Jennings, pack your bags. They're not going to be paying you.
Probably not. You're not going to get big money. They got these young guys doing what they do.
Because everyone's been waiting, and Cobbs, everyone's been waiting. Because everyone saw him last year as a rookie, like,
yes, sir.
Man, this guy's the next guy up. And he's showing that as well. Now, my thing is they still haven't been consistent because against the Saints, they went off. And then they lost to the Colts. So we'll see what happens. You know, they got hot against the Texans. Now, look, I've always said this: they got a good pass rush. They still got a good pass rush on Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that offensive line is that good. I think they suck actually, and I think that defense they played motivated last night.
Yes, they
did. That defense is not that good either. I'm be very honest with you.
It's not, but what I feel that they've shown you that when they're on, when that offense is clicking. Ain't really nothing you can do about it.
We knew that. We knew that.
Yeah, but let's be honest. We knew that, but we saw teams like Seattle play them close. But Seattle has the number 1 defense in the NFL statistically.
Right.
But do you think personnel-wise they're actually the number 1 defense? Do you think they're a better defense than the Texans?
I mean,
personnel-wise, statistically, yeah, but that can be deceiving.
We're going to get into this game later, but they played Tom Brady very well.
They did.
They beat up Aaron Rodgers a bit, and who else did they beat? They beat somebody else and gave him a hard time. A good quarterback a hard time. So I can't say that they're not the number 1 defense.
I just feel like you don't fall too far from the tree. If this is the same way Green Bay did it last year, the difference was what they did last year was incredible.
Right.
No doubt about that. And that's hard to duplicate that. It's hard to play at that level every week in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say the Seattle Seahawks game probably took a lot out of them emotionally because that was a game you basically won. You know,
but here's my thing. But going back to that game, they should never been in that situation. I thought.
Said true, but if you're playing against the #1 defense,
at the time we didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, come on, guys, let's get it together. At the time, we didn't think the Seahawks would be that good.
I mean, you can
the rookie quarterback.
I get it, but you can see how that game worked two different ways for two different teams.
Mm-hmm.
After Green Bay lost that game, it kind of tripped them up.
Yeah, that looks.
Seattle has been rah-rah sis boom ba since then.
Yeah,
even off the false pretense, so maybe whatever you want to call it, they've been in every game, and Pete, that's been ammo for Pete Carroll to get them fired up and believe. Right. Whereas with Green Bay, it started getting people to question them and doubting them and everything else, especially the loss to the Colts.
Right.
It got people to doubt them, whatever. But
because think about it, even then in that game against the Colts, the offense looked good in the first half. Yeah. But the defense did what the defense. We know the defense can give up points.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where am I saying, the pack is back? I mean, they never really went anywhere. This is the same. This is the same team that we had last year. Man.
I don't want Bears fans to get comfortable and thinking that they're going to sneak away with this division.
As a Bears fan, you're never comfortable.
Green Bay
5 weeks are the most settling weeks that we have in the season.
If you're going to make a statement, you make it the way it was made yesterday against the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Up till now, have been rolling people. They have been rolling them up defensively and offensively. Have been rolling people.
Now let me ask you this: How do you feel about the Texans now? Because I can honestly say for myself, I don't really feel any different.
No, I don't.
I feel that they're still one of the most complete teams in the league.
Do.
Green Bay needed that game. If Green Bay had lost that game,
they would have been in trouble.
I thought that they might have been done.
That might have been right.
They might have been done.
That probably would have opened the door for the Bears to win it outright. But by them beating Texans and beating them the way that they did, not just getting a 3-point victory, 4-point victory, putting numbers up on a very talented Texans defense, I think this was just one of those letdowns. It's the NFL for the Texans. I think next week. Now the question is going to be, how do they bounce back next week?
Against the Ravens, yeah.
Against the Ravens.
Here's my thing. Chris Collinsworth said it really good last night. He was like, Aaron Rodgers came in pissed off. And he came into the game pissed off.
Like a brother.
And he was like, and he said, I think Aaron Rodgers came in this game thinking that he was the favorites, and the Texans probably thought so too.
Duh.
Because the way they rolled him, Aaron Rodgers kind of, when we say swag, a lot of people say swag and all that stuff a lot. It's an overused term.
His confidence was.
But Aaron Rodgers, he plays with that.
Listen. You could tell by the throws. You could tell by the moxie. You could tell by the throws and everything he was doing. Before that, he was holding the ball, waiting. He was just letting it ride. As he was letting it ride, he's back to the old Aaron Rodgers. To me, best post-game interview ever in the history of sports. I think it was Susie Kobler, if I'm not mistaken, was talking to him on the sidelines, and she goes, her exact words, I wish we had the clip, but because exact words, she says, hey, a lot of you guys, they were saying the sky was falling. You were saying, the sky's falling outside, but we're okay in here. What do you have to say to your critics now after a game like this? Aaron hadn't said a word. He goes, shh, and walked off. I was like, Aaron Rodgers is a G. I don't care. I ain't a Packers fan, but that was the G's move from a quarterback. If I'm on that team and I see that, I'm like, we riding with this dude for the rest of the year.
Right.
We going ham. He ain't had nothing to say but, y'all shut up, take note, we still here. We 1 year removed from winning the Super Bowl. I mean, the Giants, we just went not too long ago. And don't forget, we went on a run where we went to people's cribs and beat their ass, just like the Giants did the year they won it. So don't count us out. And I feel like with that, I'm not worried about Green Bay as a team. They're going to be okay. What I'm worried about is I don't want Bears fans to get too confident and think that this thing, because you're in sole possession of first place right now. Minnesota, got exposed a little bit. That they can be beat, but I don't think Christian Ponder's going to keep that up all year. But I don't want you to think now that, Green Bay can run you down.
Right.
You can still be caught.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and we got a 2-game lead on them?
Yeah.
That can easily
evaporate
and quickly be gone.
You lose this next game against Detroit, Green Bay wins, they won in, and now they're just waiting for the game.
And Green Bay playing in St. Louis, who can be a gimme.
That should be a bye.
It should be a gimme.
Yeah,
it should be a gimme.
Now, a team that I'm sure we were talking about the Ravens. Texans. I want to see how they're going to bounce back. Now, they do have a good game to bounce back, albeit the Ravens are a tough squad. The Ravens are going to come into that game men down. Ladarius Webb probably gone for the season with the ACL. Ray Lewis, questionable, and if he does play, he's not going to be 100% with the triceps injury. Haloti Ngata is hurt. You're already missing Suggs. You're missing a lot of people off that defense.
I think that the Ravens, as I respect the heck out of the Ravens,
yes,
always have, but I think the Ravens are almost tailor-made to be beat by the Houston Texans. I really do. The way that they're set up, the way the Packers, and I'm going to be honest, I felt the same way about the Packers because I thought the Texans could get pressure on Aaron Rodgers because I thought the offensive line sucked, and I thought that the running game would be able to shred Green Bay's defense.
And the way that the Ravens have been giving up yards on the run, 200 games, 2 times in a row. I know Ray Lewis is not happy about that. That's not what they're predicated on, but they've been getting the victories. The only thing I can see happen now, this is the time where Joe Flacco needs to assert himself. My defense is messed up. They're banged up. These guys are hurting. I got to give them 24 points on the board so they can take it easy. I got to keep them off the field. I got to hammer them with Ray Rice. I got to make big plays to Torrey Smith. I got to make big plays to Anquan Bolden. I have to win this game against the Texans with my arm. If Flacco doesn't go in with that amount of confidence, Ravens will probably get blown out.
I agree.
No doubt, man. When we come back, what we're going to get into?
We're going to get into the Giants and the 49ers.
The G-Men making a big statement yesterday.
And these rookie quarterbacks, man.
Yeah, let's see how these classes match up, all right? That's coming up next on Sports Unplugged with your man, Big Mad, of course, me, and the good doctor, Nate Boney, man. We'll be right back, Sports Unplugged.
Don't stop, pump that, don't stop, pump that, pump that, pump that, don't stop, don't stop.
What you twerking, man? Young pop, champagne, they know the face and they know the name.